if anyone on this field, the way he's been playing, could at least bring a fight to this as we get ready to go into game.
Serral looks cheeky. It's almost like he's got something kind of naughty planned for game one. I don't know what to expect over here, but he had a funny look on his face. Zest looks really intense. He's ready for this as well. This is going to be awesome. The first map of the semifinals is live in the right top side. We're looking in the main base of our Finnish Zerg player. It is Serral.
And his opponent in the bottom left, our blue Protoss. This is Zest.
So World of Sleepers is going to be our first map of this semi-final. Now World of Sleepers can be a very tricky map. As I'm taking a look at the natural of Serral actually, because that drone was going a little bit out of way. But I think just scouting for a potential proxy. I think 2 years ago he definitely got caught off guard. Back then Classic being next level aggressive, kind of all-inning him on an asset plant. And I think that kind of set the tone for the series. Even though both these guys have so much experience, this is such a big moment in the semifinals. And dropping game one is not the end of the world, but you don't want to drop it in a devastating way. You don't want to basically not win a single fight and not get anything going for yourself. And obviously if you'd lose against a proxy or a cannon rush, like that's just a horrible way to start.
Zest goes gas first, which means he will not scout as well, so playing a little bit greedy even in the early stages. Something like a 12 pool here completely kills you. You're going to have no information about it, but he feels like that's not what Serral will do, and it just gives you that extra bit of efficiency in the early stages of the game.
Yeah, and he's not wrong, of course, right? Like Serral once in a blue moon will throw in a 12 pool, but he's just not known to be a cheeser. And once again, that's a risky way to start off your semifinals. There's so much on the line here. In an online match, it's a little bit easier to do that kind of stuff, but this is a big moment. We'll keep a close eye on that probe, because this could potentially be a proxy Stargate. And this does actually really remind me of what Classic did back then against Serral, even though it's been a long time ago. If that first Oracle shows up 5 or 6 seconds quicker than the Zerg player expects it, you can pick off a couple of drones very quickly. And that can be very frustrating, especially because Zest has been so clean in this matchup. If he gets ahead, he is incredibly good in closing things out.
Absolutely. Those few seconds, it plays on the reliance of Zerg just getting everything at the last possible moment. So if you don't figure this out as Serral, it can definitely be a little bit problematic. And like you said, Zest, he loves to hammer it home when he gets that lead. As Elaine is going around, but is not going to quite check that corner.
Sometimes they change their mind. We'll keep a close eye on it. Zest playing a little bit risky here, but obviously this is one of these builds where as long as you get the first Oracle out, ideally you get 2 Oracles out, and then maybe 1 Phoenix, right, to work. Well, okay, this Zergling is actually just almost running in there, but the Adept is going to make sure it doesn't get into the main base. At this point, Serral is of course expecting there to be some tech in the main base. That is not the case at all. The first Oracle is in production. Spore Crawlers have not been thrown down. Serral's not aware of this. I mean, I think if you're Zest here, is it safe to say you're looking for 5 drones?
I think so, right? As long as there's a couple of queens on in position, you can get a lot done with this one Oracle, because 1 queen damaging it, it just doesn't go down quickly at all. So this Oracle's looking good to get into that main base. Serral has nothing really in location but 1 queen. And behind this, Zest goes straight into that Twilight Council.
Yep, he's been incredibly good with Adapts and Resonating Glaives, and since his Twilight is so quick, there is a good chance that that is going to be the case. Here we go, this Oracle is showing up, only a single queen. How many drones are going to fall here for Serral?
He gets 2 already, but that will be it. Zest wants to keep the health on the Oracle, so good defense so far for Serral. I think you're very happy with that, considering you were absolutely in the dark.
Exactly. If you had no idea this was happening, you only had a single queen in position as well. Actually, a little bit surprised with how safe Zest played that. Of course, losing your Oracle is pretty devastating, but I actually think that he's supposed to get a little bit more there. But instead he said, nope, I don't even want to take any real damage on my Oracle. There is the Roach Warren, by the way, and we do have that Resonating Glaives as a follow-up for Zest. That is obviously the upgrade that he's been incredibly successful with throughout this entire tournament.
Serral, as the left finishes up, of course, will have some options too, especially just those roaches, though. That's what we're looking at right now, to be out on the map and be able to start shutting down those Adepts. Adepts are great. If the first few roaches aren't out and you're already running around with them as they spawn, if the roaches are already out and in position, these Adepts are way less likely to get damage done.
Look at the work count of Serral. We've seen a lot of Zerg players actually being very careful. Of course, Zest is going up to 3 bases. We've got quite a few Zerglings here as well. I think the Oracle's on the other side of the map. It is tough for Lynx to get a whole lot done. But I actually think Serral's going to be quite okay with that, because technically they've traded out evenly. 2 drones went down, but a pylon went down as well. And that is also 100 minerals. That's something you have to rebuild. And there is the Nidus network. I'm not super shocked to see this, because obviously Adepts are incredibly good in harassing. They're good at keeping the Zerg busy. But in a straight-up fight, Wadi, Adepts do not do very well against Queens and Roaches. I love the call by Serral.
Yep, typically you see those Adepts cleaned up and then a counterattack comes in. This time Serral's going to really speed up, catalyze that counterattack with the Nidus. As already a pylon goes down here as well.
Yep, that's very nice. A probe is going to be exposed there. This Nexus is actually taking a little bit of a beating. Zest is building double robo, by the way. It's almost like he's expecting something among these lines, because normally you don't go double robo that quickly. Okay, the Oracle does find the first Nidus network, but I'm not sure if the Oracle is going to be able to shut it down. Yeah, the Depth Shade will not finish up. Zest is starting to find some good damage. The Lynx did not manage to take care of that Nexus, but the Nidus will finish up.
So now the Roaches can start pouring on out. The Adepts are still across the map, remember, so they're not there to defend just yet either, as Serral is still yet to really start sending his units across the map. A bit of a misclick there on the rocks as well, as these Adepts now starting to be in some more trouble as the Roaches are in range. The Lynx are surrounding that. The Nexus is also very, very low.
Yep, and the Queens and Roaches didn't even make their way to the other side of the map yet, but the Lynx have pretty much single-handedly taken care of this Nexus. These pylons are going to go down as well. I actually think Serral should transition from this point, and that is exactly what Serral's thinking as well. You're still going to try to apply some pressure. Maybe you snipe the Cybercore in the front, gateway, but there is no need for Serral to get too carried away here against a double robo. I mean, Zest doesn't have a lot, but Serral just doesn't need to. It's 3 bases against 2. He can actually just chill, work on these buildings, and get a stronger economy at home.
And that's exactly what he will go for. And yeah, you mentioned the economy, of course. Zest looking good on 51 probes, but remember, they're not mining that 3rd base any longer, so it's not even that much of an advantage as now Serral really just holding down that drone here. Queen does get trapped here, transfused to save it. It will get force fielded into a Queen. It has been picked on.
Oracle is actually flying to the other side of the map. Is going to try to drop a stasis during all of this. This stasis will connect with quite a few drones. It could have been worse. Another Knight is in the front. I kind of like that, because I almost feel like that's a fake. Or you can obviously use it to retreat as well. I guess a couple of the Queens did go down. Queens off creep. But Serral is should be satisfied with the damage he's done. But I'd like Serral to retreat at this point. There's really no need for him to stick around against these Immortals, against those shield batteries.
It feels like the longer you stick around right now as Serral, the more difficult this becomes. But if he kills an Immortal, that's a great catch. And now he's going to start getting sentries as well. So maybe we were a little bit wrong. Serral getting even more done. Doesn't lose too much extra. He will lose that Nidus, but he has another up to the top he can escape to as well. And Serral just keeping Zest in trouble.
That was a sweet pick-off. I think what is very likely is that Zest will fire up a War Prism now. And the moment I say that, he actually drops a Twilight and a Forge. Was the Twilight in the front? Did he end up losing the Twilight count?
Yeah.
Okay, no, he cancelled it. I was about to say. I was like, why is he building a Twilight? You already had a Twilight council, my friend.
Slightly confusing moment or two as we see Zest just trying to get back up, taking that forward base, of course. This is really difficult to hold because it is in such an open area. The Zerg loves to attack in that sort of position as Serral keeps up the pressure with another Nidus into the main.
Yep, Serral is starting to bleed out quite a few units though. That's 3 Ravagers going down, and that's actually quite expensive because Serral has a better economy at this point because he is mining off 3 bases, but it's not an insane economy, right? Serral's only working with 58 drones. That is not that much, and Ravagers are relatively expensive units. We do see Serral with some multi-prong aggression though. What a way to start the semifinals, Wadi.
Absolutely. Serral just keeping on at Zest right now. The probes in the main base continue to drop. The whole army is here. So the 3rd base is cancelled again as Serral will not let Zest get a foothold in this game.
At this point, I would almost say that Zest got to go for it, right? Maybe a War Prism. He's supply blocked though, and he has to wait for all 3 of those. He still has 2 Immortals in the robots, I think, as well. Maybe he's just going to try to re-expand one more time. But Serral is actually working towards a better composition. Gets another cancel on that Nexus. Why not? 7 workers went down in the process there as well. Zest still sitting at 50. The problem is there's still 50 workers on 2 bases, like you mentioned as well. And now +1 melee's on the way for Serral. 15 Banelings on the way as well. And it's just a matter of time before Baneling speed will finish up too.
And the Contaminator slow down an extra Immortal. It's all looking great here. Now Serral will finally sit back a little bit more perhaps. He'll drop another Nidus here and then try, but overall he's almost inviting Zest to come and attack me because I'm ready. I've got Banes, I've got melee. Well, actually, he's coming forwards one more time. That base is just so tempting to kill.
Yep, I love how he's using the Nidus networks to pull units out of positions and then trying to take down the Nexus one more time. Serral has been hyper-aggressive. It's been a mix between like him really committing and him transitioning a little bit as well. Baneling speed is not done yet. but that's a lot of damage that's going to go down on this Nexus. Zest really wants to keep it alive, but I just don't see him being able to.
I mean, it's already a couple of force fields used up, right? So it's just a couple extra Zest won't have, and now the sentries are out of energy. The Banelings are rolling in, and the Immortals are going to get crushed here as the Roaches, the Ravagers will float on through. Serral to take game number 1.
Wow. I mean, that was pretty sick. I love the way that it was a mix between like, I'm all out, but actually I'm not, right? Like, he's obviously committing to